Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to look at the DPS of all the different classes from Flyff Universe. And I'm doing this video because there's still a lot of requests to make more videos in English. Although I think many of you already watched the German videos, so I think it doesn't really add something new. I'm pretty much saying the same stuff just in English, so a lot more people can understand what my opinion about certain things is. But I'm not planning to do every single video in English and German. Good news is that we have two new clips that have been added since the last video I did in German. So at least we have bonus content for this video. So we have more to see. It's not that much, but it's more to see. And yeah, the first thing we're going to look at, actually, I mean, you just saw a different clip that we watch in a few minutes. The first thing we're going to look at is the highest possible Azal damage in Flyff Universe with the current state of the game. Which means this is the highest possible damage that anyone could do in PvP. It has a few debuffs. Also Holy Cross and Sword Cross. And now let's look at the damage. It's 100. Ooh, that was fast. It's 173 and 998. So almost 174k, which is crazy. Next up we have the build poster with level 65 full int with 2 intelli rings and 2 demolition earrings. And yeah, so it's like basically full damage with a crane. Let's look at that. You shoot these light beams, or beam of light I think it says in the skill description. And yeah, I guess it's pretty fast. Now we're going back to the roots, back to the beginning of April when the first DPS clips were posted in the Discord. Again, I'm recommending all of you guys to join the official Flyff Universe Discord. The link is in the description. There you can chat with other people about Flyff Universe. You can make suggestions to the development of the game. You can take part in polls and stuff like that, post screenshots or fan art and stuff like that. So it's pretty much a huge community channel. But also you get all the official information there. Let's look at the first video. We have Ranger versus Bow Jester. This video basically shows us that you should not play Bow Jester. The Ranger deals more damage because of his second class skills, which the Jester can't use because he's a Jester, and all Jester skills are for yo-yo. So this video just shows us Ranger deals more damage. Also Ranger has a lot of skills that he can use with the bow, which the Jester again can't. He can only use acrobat skills, which are not really that useful in the high level state of the game. So yeah, basically just don't play Bow Jester is what this clip says. Next up we have Jester and Bow Jester again, which isn't really that useful because we already saw that Bow Jester is pretty bad, and Jester compared to Bow Jester is insane. He deals like almost double the damage. It's pretty disgusting to see Bow Jester like that, which again just tells you don't play Bow Jester. And the other thing it tells us is that Jester actually deals a pretty good amount of damage, over 30k damage per second, which is of course highest equipment, highest maxed out stats and stuff like that with level 105, all the buffs and stuff like that. But still, I think it's a lot of damage. I was actually kind of surprised because I thought that Jester wouldn't rank that high. And yeah, it's a pleasant surprise. Next up we have Blade and Build poster, which is like the battle of nostalgia, because back in the day I think the most popular classes, at least in PvE 1v1 damage, were Blade and Build poster, and there was always this discussion, is Blade stronger or is Build poster, because he hits so much faster. Actually stronger because he deals less damage per hit, but since he attacks way faster, he maybe deals more damage in total, which is not the case and was never the case. But he's actually kind of closer than I thought as well. Pretty much the same with Jester. Here with the build poster he comes to pretty much also 30k per second. Blade comes out on top with 34 to 35k per second and is, with this amount of damage, the currently highest ranked DPS class in the game, but not by that much actually, because Jester is right behind him with just a few k less, and also Build Poster with around 30k is okay, I guess. Next up we have the two-hand weapon Knight, which deals actually a great amount of damage thanks to his passive skill Sword Cross. Only problem I see here is that when you're kinda unlucky, for example in PvP, or it also goes the other way around, when you're extremely lucky, your damage will be extremely different. So for example, if you're in PvP and you hit like a target 5 times and you don't get any Sword Cross procs, you deal like 24k damage pretty much. When you do hit it, you basically deal like 40k damage, something like that. So I'm not a huge fan of this probability with Sword Cross, because you can get very unlucky, you can get very lucky. All other classes have basically always the same damage, at least when the circumstances are the same. I mean, of course you can always have a high crit, low crit and stuff like that, but with Sword Cross it's the same. You can have a low crit Sword Cross proc, you can have a block Sword Cross proc, and so on. So I don't really like this how you say it, this probability thing. In my personal opinion, I'm not a huge fan of it, but if we're speaking only PvE, then I don't think it really matters. But still, it's just this thing that your damage is like, sometimes it can be way off. Of course, when you fight for a longer time, like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, your damage will pretty much always be the same, or your DPS will probably always be the same. But in these short fights, very short fights, there can be a huge difference because of the probability with Sword Cross. Next up we have the one-hand Knight, which deals actually also a great amount of damage when you think about that he's only using one weapon and a shield. So it's basically a axe Build Poster in that regard. But I think his damage is actually quite good. I would have imagined that it's a little bit lower maybe. Maybe around the ranger damage, but yeah, it's pretty okay. 26k in this example. Next up we have our two magicians, Psykeeper versus Elementor. As I already mentioned in the beginning, those two classes are not level 105, they are level 120, so you can't really compare them to the other classes. Of course 15 levels don't really change everything, but still they have a small advantage, so I would not recommend to compare them directly to the other classes. And yeah, the damage is for the Psykeeper a little bit over 30k, 33k, and the Elementor is a little bit under 30k with 28k damage. And of course, it's Flyff. We have another showcase of a solo blade level 120 with Berserk, so it's pretty much maxed out blade in the current state of Flyff Universe. Also, depending on high crits, he goes up to 50k, over 50k, then below 40k, or just at 30k. So yeah, it's again also really reliable on high crit, low crit, miss, block, whatever. Just like every other fight we have seen in this video, except for Magician and except for the Magicians. Our last two clips are PvP clips. We are looking at the skill Hit of Penya from Jester with level 120. Don't get confused by the character name, it's still Blade, but obviously it's a Jester. So they're testing it with a 44.3k Knight, which could or should be the max amount of health. And then we have the Build Poster with Azal, and it's 35k against the Knight. So it's way higher than the Hit of Penya from Jester, which is, I wouldn't really say shocking, but it's a huge difference, you can say that at least. So yeah, my opinion is basically it's the same as Flyff PC, because it's Blade on top, not by a lot of course, but you also have to keep in mind that even the slightest advantage will scale with everything else. At least that's how it worked in Flyff PC. So if Blade deals 1000 damage more than everyone else, multiply that with 50 power-ups, with awakening system, with more socket system and stuff like that, and Blade will come out by 50k on top of everyone else, or 100k and stuff like that. So the gap will just increase. It will percentage-wise always be the same, but in total amount of damage it will always increase a lot. And that's pretty much the problem we have with Flyff PC, because they never changed anything about the base stats of the classes and stuff like that. So that's why Blade is a PvE monster, and classes like Ranger deal no damage at all. And at least the ground concept of this same effect we had in Flyff PC can be seen here. I mean, of course, this is not the full released version. Also, we don't have all these systems like Awakening system, 50,000 different power-ups and stuff like that. So you have to keep that in mind. And also, if there would actually be a huge gap in the future when they add new features and stuff like that, and one class comes out by a lot more than all other classes, then they could also just decrease base stats or decrease weapon effects to make it more balanced, which is pretty much the hope we have for the game, that it's always being looked after, always considering. So I'm not concerned that much, but still all I'm saying is that just by ranking them damage wise, it is pretty much exactly the same as Flyff PC. It's Blade on top, then Jester, Knight, pretty much the same. Bill Poster also in that same category, maybe a little bit lower than them. In Flyff PC, Bill Poster would probably be on top of Knight and on top of Jester as well, just because of his higher attack speed. And Ranger is way off. Ranger is not even considered doing damage in this case. I mean, 24k with maxed out equipment compared to 10k more of Blade, also almost 10k more than, oh yeah, 10k less than Jester and Knight. I don't know how I should feel about that. Of course, when you're looking at DPS, you don't consider utility, like for example Ranger, Fast Walker, Dark Illusion, also his great variety of skills, PvE, AoE skills and stuff like that. Those play a huge part. Of course, all these things play a role, but still, if you're just looking at the DPS, and that plays a role in PvE boss hunting, for example, I mean, when it comes down to hunting bosses, most of the time it comes down to who deals the most damage. So, in terms of that, I'm not really that hyped about Ranger, for example, just because his damage is so freaking low. But yeah, there you have it. If you have any other wishes about Flyff Universe or Flyff videos in general in English, you can always let me know. As I already mentioned, if I see a lot of comments about do this video in English or talk about that in English and blah blah blah, then I probably do it. But if there are no comments about it, no comments at all in English, then I would just post my German videos, which have most of the time English auto translation by Google Translator, which I know is not that great, but actually 2 years ago, I think, I watched one of my videos with the English subtitles activated, and I honestly thought it wasn't really that bad. I mean, all my statements got translated in a understandable fashion, so of course there was a lot of jokes and German sayings that didn't really make sense in English, of course, but you could understand what the video was about, and also what I was talking about, and about the points I made in that video, because it was also a tutorial kind of video. So yeah, I mean, you should always try that option if there's a video you are interested in, but it's only in German. For now, at least, it is time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching, you guys. I would appreciate a like, a comment, of course, and a subscription to my channel, and we will all see us in the next Flyff Universe video, or maybe even in Flyff Universe, the game.